All right, let's talk Python. Anytime you need to group a bunch of things together, I mean anything at all, the list is almost always going to be your go-to tool. So today, we're going to dive deep into this super fundamental data structure and really see what makes it so powerful and, well, so dynamic. So let's just start with a really basic question. Imagine you've got a whole collection of stuff. Maybe it's user scores for a game, a list of names, or a bunch of prices. How do you actually hold on to all of that in one single organized place in your code? I mean, sure, you could create a new variable for every single item, but wow, that would get messy so fast, right? There's just got to be a better way. And of course there is. In Python, the answer is the list. The best way to think of it is just as a container. It's an ordered collection, and that's key. It means items stay exactly in the sequence you put them in. It's also changeable, so you can mess with it on the fly. And you can spot one from a mile away by its signature look, those classic square brackets. Okay, theory's great, but let's get practical. First up, we're going to tackle the absolute basics. How do you even make one of these things? And then once you've got stuff in it, how do you get it back out? Honestly, it's as simple as this. You just make a variable, we'll call ours nums, and then you assign it a bunch of values inside those square brackets, with commas in between, and boom, just like that, you've got yourself a list with 5 different numbers in it. Easy. Okay, so how do we get things out? Now, this is where it gets interesting, and it's a huge point for anyone new to programming. Python, like a lot of languages, starts counting from 0, not 1, but 0. So if you want that very first item, the number 25, you have to ask for the item at index 0. This is super important to remember. It'll save you a lot of headaches. The first item is always at index 0. But what if you want like a whole chunk of the list, not just one item? Well, this is where a really cool feature called slicing comes into play. By using a colon, you can basically define a range. So what you're seeing here, num square to square bracket, is us telling Python, hey, give me everything starting from index 2 and just go all the way to the end. It's an incredibly slick and efficient way to grab a piece of your data. Python also has this really clever shortcut for grabbing items from the end of the list. So while num0 gets you the first item, nums -1, yep, that gets you the very last one. And -2 would get you the second to last, and so on. This is so handy because it saves you from ever having to figure out the exact length of the list just to grab that final element. Okay, now we're getting to a feature that really, truly makes Python lists stand out, especially if you're coming from other languages like C++ or Java. It is all about one thing: flexibility. See, unlike those old school arrays that are super strict and force every single item to be the same data type, a Python list, well, it just doesn't care. You can throw whatever you want in there. Mix and match integers, decimals, strings, and, well, as we're got to see, pretty much anything else you can dream up. And this right here just drives that point home perfectly. Look at this. In one single list, we're storing a decimal, a name, and a whole number, all hanging out together. This kind of flexibility is a massive advantage. It lets you build data structures that are way more dynamic and can actually represent complex real-world things. And believe it or not, it gets even better. A list can actually hold other lists. Yeah, it's kind of like listception. We call this a nested list. So for example, the mill list you see on the screen, it's actually holding 2 other lists inside of it, one full of numbers and another full of names. This opens up a whole universe of possibilities for creating complex structures, perfect for things like a chessboard, spreadsheet data, you name it. So we know how to create lists and we know how to get stuff out of them, but what about changing them? Well, this brings us to one of the most important concepts about lists. They are mutable. So what on earth does mutable even mean? It's simple, really. It just means that once you've made a list, it's not set in stone. It's like a piece of clay, not a block of marble. This is absolutely essential for so many things, right? Think about a list of players in a game or items in a shopping cart. You need to be able to add, remove, and change things. The list can literally evolve as your program runs. When it comes to adding items, you've got 2 main tools in your build. Let's use that train analogy. If you just want to hook a new car onto the very end of the train, append is your best friend. It's quick, it's easy. But what if you need to drop a new car right into the middle of the train? Well, that's when you bring in the heavy machinery. Insert. You tell it exactly where to put it, and it'll make space. And it's a similar story for removing items. You've got options. Remove is like saying, find the first thing that looks like this value and get rid of it. It searches by the item itself. On the other hand, .pop is like saying, go to this specific spot, this index, and remove whatever's there. And a really neat trick with .pop is that it actually hands you back the item it just removed, which can be super useful. Okay, but it's not just about adding and removing. Python lists come absolutely packed with a whole bunch of built-in functions and methods that are basically like superpowers. They save you from having to write tons and tons of code yourself. Let's say you need to analyze a list of numbers. Forget writing a bunch of complicated loops. Python just gives you these beautifully simple, readable functions. Need the smallest value? Min. The biggest? Max. Want to add them all up? Sum. Done. It's fast, it's clean, it's efficient. All right, here's another huge one, sorting. So we've got our nums list, and as you can see, it's a total mess, completely out of order. To fix this, it's ridiculously simple. All we have to do is call the .sort method right on the list itself. And poof, just like that, the list is sorted. Now, pay close attention here because this is a crucial point. Notice that we didn't create a new sorted list. The .sort method actually modifies the original list in place. It permanently rearranges the very same list you started with. Whew, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's pull everything together and do a quick recap with a handy little cheat sheet of the most important things you need to remember about Python lists. If you remember anything, remember this. 1. You create them with square brackets. 2. They're ordered, and you get stuff out using an index that starts at 0. 3. They're mutable, which just means you can change them. 4. They are incredibly flexible. They'll hold any data type you throw at them. And finally, 5. They come loaded with awesome built-in methods like .sort and .append that do all the heavy lifting for you. Look, the Python list is so much more than just another feature. It's a truly fundamental building block for solving actual real-world problems. I mean, whether you're managing a simple to-do list, analyzing complex financial data, or building the next great video game, I guarantee you, lists are going to be right there at the heart of it. So really, the only question left is, what problems are you going to solve first?
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe the channel for more updates.